Shabbos, good Shabbos. Oh, we've got a minyan and one more minute. This summer, it rains on the weekends, right? Is that the pattern? Yes. It's nice during the week, it rains on the weekend. Oh, yes. Not around the corner, but yeah. Where was she before?
She started out in New Jersey, then in New York, and then Connecticut, and so now they're back.
New England is.
That's what I heard.
All right.
That's what I heard.
Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. Here we go. We're going to start with the Sabbath song, which is one of my favorites. Maya Hayom, page 10. Page 10. Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. All right, I have to stand in back of the mic because of the live streaming. I don't even know anybody's there. It could be nobody, but we'll see. All right, we're going to continue with the lighting of the Sabbath candles. And I'm going to call on Lynn and Shira Kaminsky to come forward and to lead us in the blessing over the Sabbath candles, page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Join together in singing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, No semantics, no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We turn to page 20 for Lecha Dodi, and I want you to pay special attention because later on I'm going to talk about Lecha Dodi, do a little bit of teaching on it. I'll begin with a question: who is the beloved in Lecha Dodi? Come, my beloved, to greet the bride. Who's the beloved? We'll figure it out. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Hishmianu el hamiyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem u'teferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat lechuvenecha ki makor habaracha meherosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'makshva techila. Lecha Dodi Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Hitorari Kiva ore kumi uri uri shir daberi kivod Adonai alaik nigla. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Rise to greet the Shabbos bride. Boi v'shalom ha'ateret ba'ala gam b'simcha u'v'tzokola tov emunei am segula boi kala Lecha Dodi kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela. Page 22. Let's go right to 26. We're going to go right to the Hatzi Kaddish. Here we go. Page 26. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba v'yama divrach kirutei v'yamlik mahutei b'chaye chon v'yomechon u'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman koriv v'yemeru Yehei Shemei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Le'olmei Homaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpoar V'yitroman V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Kedusha Rihu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechat Davane Emata Damiran Yama V'Imru Amen. Page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam Va. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed. And continue on page 30 in the Hebrew. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim B'Chachma Poteach She'arim Uvitvuna Mishaneh Itim Umachalif et HaZemanim Umisader et HaKochavim B'Mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono Borei Yom V'Laila Golel Or Mipnei Hoshech V'Hoshech Mipnei Or Uma'avir Yom Umevi Laila Umavdil Bein Yom Uvein Laila Adonai Tzvaot Shumo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimlok Aleinu Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Ama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Page 32, the prayer of love of God for us by giving us the Torah. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadetam Al Kain Adonai Eloheinu B'shagbeinu v'kumeinu Nasiach behukecha V'nismak b'divrei Toratecha Uv'amitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki heim chayenu v'orek yameinu v'orek yameinu Uvahem negeh yomam v'alayla yomam v'alayla V'avatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malhuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Continue on page 36. Let's do the Ahavta. We'll do it in Hebrew and in English. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha v'veitecha uvlektecha v'derek uvshachbecha uvekumecha ukshartam li'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha Uktavtam Amazuzot Beitecha Uvisharecha Leman Tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Take to heart these instructions which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus shall you remember to observe all my commandments, and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. We continue now with the Micha Mocha on page, let's start first, go to page, yeah, I want to go up to 42 first for a second. And let's read, I'm sorry, jumping around here. Yeah, page 38, I'm sorry. Nope, I can't even find the right page. All right, we'll jump to 40. Here we go. Micha Mocha, here we come. Micha Mocha, Oelim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Osei felet, Nora tehilot, Osei felet, Malhutecha, Ra'uvanecha, Bokei hayam, Lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeili Yanu V'Yamaru, Adonai Yimlo, Adonai Yimlo, Le'olam Va'ed. V'nemar Kifadanan Yaakov Ugolo, Miyad Hazak Mimenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Well, I'd like to invite you up to lead us in Hashkivenu. That'd be great. That's on page 42. And that prayer, you have to jump down after we do the chorus at the top, jump down all the way to Shemor, the indented part. So, Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hadmidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hadmidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor Seitenu Uvoenu L'chaim Shalom Me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hadnidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hadnidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
Thank you. On page 43, we join together in the English at the bottom. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter. in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth, for with you are true perfection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, aparei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim. Page 44, Yismechu. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Aham mekadeshei, mekadeshei shavi Shabbat, kulam yisfu v'yitangru mituvecha Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Ashavi ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, emdat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Zeher l'maseh v'reishit Shabbat. Zecher l'maseh v'reishit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it an oneg, a delight, will rejoice in your realm. The people that hallow Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For being pleased with the seventh day, you hallowed it, as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation. On page 46, we rise for the Amidah. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, Ufi yagita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol, Ata Rav Lehoshia, Morid Atal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomek Noflim, Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishene Afar, Michamocha Bal Givurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memid, Umekayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Yikedushim b'hol yom, Yahalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Continue our worship on page 54. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. And so it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Together, our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot. Grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant us our heritage, your holy Sabbath, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Let's continue on page 57 as we sing the Ritzei. Ritzei, Ritzei, Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, B'amcha Yisrael, Utafilatam, B'ahavatika Abel, Utahi l'rotzon tamid, Utahi l'rotzon tamid, Avodat Yisrael Amecha, Baruch atah Adonai, She'otecha levadecha, B'yira navod, She'otecha levadecha, B'yira navod. We're now going to turn back to the Modim, the prayer of thanksgiving, back in the morning service, because it has a very nice tradition about it, if I can find it. No? Okay. Here we go. Page, yes, no, not page 58. Page 138. That's better. 138. And here we have a very lovely responsive reading on the left-hand side of the page. And unless we come to morning services, we don't usually get to read this, so we'll do it in the evening. Why not? David, if you begin with the expanding grandeur.
For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenge.
Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Now let's go to Shalom Rav on page 60. And I want to teach you a Shalom Rav that I've done several times before. And it's written by Sue Horowitz. She was once came to give us a musical presentation when cantor Rachel Reed Simpson was here. So this is a very easy song, and I'll teach you the chorus first. It goes Shalom Rav al Yisrael. I have to sing it first, okay? Shalom, Shalom Rav al Yisrael. Tamasim le'olam. Gentle peace will find its way to us as we gather here to pray. Let's try that. Do a song of song. The words in English are gentle peace will find its way to us as we gather here to pray. Let's try that. Gentle peace will find its way to us as we gather here to pray. All right. Shalom Ram. Al Yisrael. Gentle peace will find its way to us as we gather here to pray. Second verse, second line. We sing the same thing, Shalom Rav, Yisrael. May we carry it inside of us as we go along our way. May we carry it inside of us as we go along our way. Okay. Start from the beginning. Shalom Rav. Gentle peace will find its way to us as we gather here to pray. Shalom Al Yisrael Kasim Le'olam. May we carry it inside of us as we go along our way. Ki atahu melech adon levo ashalom. Ki atahu melech adon levo ashalom. Here we go. Shalom al Yisrael tasim le'olam. Gentle peace will find its way to us as we gather here to pray. May we carry it inside of us as we go along our way. V'tov be'enecha livarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit uv'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Gentle peace will find its way to us as we gather here to pray. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. May we carry it inside of us as we go along our way. And let's pause for a few moments of silent prayer. Yiyu l'ratzon imrei fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha Adonai, Tsuri, Adonai, Tsuri, V'gohali, V'gohali. We now turn to page 253 for the Mishnah Barak on behalf of those members of our congregation and people who are ill and in need of healing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. And as I scan the room, if you have any friends or family or people whom you'd like to include in our Mishnah Barak, please mention their names. Thank you. And we continue with the singing of Mishnah Barak, page 253. Mishnah Barak Avotenu Mekor Habracha Limotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the one before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Beirach Imotenu Mekor Abraha Liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And now I'm going to ask you to turn back to Lecha Dodi. I'm going to do a little bit of teaching about that. That's on page 20. The streaming was not made for me because I like to jump around, but if I don't stay here, I'm off camera, so I'll stay here. I'll do my best. Lecha Dodi is a very, very traditional, important song for Shabbat. And it says, Beloved, come to meet the bride. Beloved, come to greet Shabbat. So who is the beloved in this case? Who's the beloved? No. It's God. It's God. It could be God's children too. We're singing it, so he said, Beloved, come to meet the bride. The bride is certainly Shabbat. The bride is Shabbat, the groom. And in this whole song, this song was written by a man named Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz. And he, in the 16th century, he lived in Tzfat, which was a center at that time of Kabbalah, and a great, wonderful, active city. How many have been in Tzfat? Anybody? Very wonderful city up in the northern part, in the hills and the mountains, and it's just lovely. Lots of art and artistries there. So he wrote this poem, Lecha Dodi, in the 16th century, and it caught on, and it's been with us ever since then. If you'll notice, it has 9 verses, and the first 8 verses are an acrostic that make out his name. So his name is Shlomo, Shin, Lamed, Mem, He, Halevi, He, Lamed, Vav, Yod, Shlomo Halevi. So that's, he put his name on this. And it really talks about, the Kabbalists were very much interested in unification A lot of us use the word today, tikkun olam. The image that comes from is that originally there were sparks of the divine enclosed in kind of shells, and they broke forth. They had so much energy. And so it's up to the world to kind of gather those sparks together and reunite them. When we talk about tikkun olam, the image is that of bringing sparks and unifying yourself and the sparks with God, unifying God. So there's a lot of ideas here of marriage is really important. Come, my beloved, to greet the bride. What's the word for bride? Kala. Kala is the word for bride. Groom? What? Hosan, yes. Hatan is the groom, Hosan, and the bride is Kala. Now, so there's lots of unification ideas in here. One of them is God and Israel should be united. Israel and the Sabbath. God and the Sabbath. And God, I don't know what the right pronoun is to use, because you've seen the image of the Kabbalistic image of the 10 Sefirot. Have you ever seen that? There are 10 little circles, and they all represent different aspects of God. And one side of it is masculine, and the other side is feminine. People wonder that with these 10 Sefirot representing the divine, isn't it a little bit polytheistic? And Jews and the Kabbalists say, no, it's all one. And especially when we think of should be a unification of the masculine and the feminine within God. And that too is another unification. So all these unifications are going together and are alluded to in this Kabbalistic song. So let's start. Where, first of all, does the idea of the wedding take place with Shabbat? Why do they apply the wedding to Shabbat? It has to do with a midrash based on the first day of creation. After God had created the world, he paired certain days with each day. He kind of married them. Day one, what happens on day one? Yehi-or, let there be light. And then on the fourth day, we find the sun, moon, and stars. So God put the first day, Yehi-or, and the sun, moon, and stars, number 4, together. Day number 2, there were the waters, and they divided the waters. And that goes along with number 5, because day number 5, God brought forth living beings, sea creatures, and also birds from the water. And days 3 were vegetation, and that goes with 6, the animals of the land who consume the vegetation, and ourselves too. So 1 and 4 were together, 2 and 5 together, and 3 and 6, that left 7 alone. So it said, Shabbat said, where's my partner? And God said, I'm going to marry you to Israel. You and Israel will be bride and groom. And one of the commandments says, the 10 Commandments says, Shemor Zachor Shabbat L'Kadsho. Remember the Sabbath day, L'Kadsho. We usually translate that as to be holy, right? But it can be translated midrashically. Remember the Sabbath day to marry it, because Kiddushin is marriage, to marry the Sabbath day. So there's a lot of midrashic playing here. So the Sabbath, the brides, Israel and the Sabbath were destined to be married together. Now, verse 1, let's look at the book here. And is it Emily? Is that your?
Yes.
Will you read that in the translation?
Sure.
Keep and remember.
Yes, keep and remember the single command, the only God caused us to hear. The eternal is one, God's name is one, glory and praise are God.
So why do they have the words keep and remember in parentheses, in quote marks? What does that refer to? Yes, Shamor v'Zachor. The 10 Commandments occur twice in the Torah. Once, who can tell me which books again? Once in the book of Exodus, and the second time in the book of Deuteronomy. There's twice. And are they exactly the same? No. So that's a problem. It says, how could God give different 10 Commandments? So the tradition says that he said them, in the first line says, Shamor v'Zachor v'Dibor Chad. He said them simultaneously. Keep and observe, or remember and observe in the simultaneously. And the word Zachor, to remember, supposedly includes all the positive commandments. There are 248 positive commandments. And Shamor, to keep, includes all the negative, the don't do's, 365. Together, 248 plus 365 makes 613. 613, the number of commandments in the Torah. Barb, you have a question or comment?
I just wondered if the keep, remember, is like physical and a mental,
Okay.
as a one.
Yes, yes.
One person,
Yes, keep.
get it together.
Yes. Keep refers to Shamor refers to a kind of a doing, and remember is emotional or mental. Yes, great. So that's that. So the first verse refers to the Shabbat, and what tradition do we get from having Shamor v'Zahor? We have how many candles do we light on Shabbat? 2. It's because of Shamor v'Zahor. One is Shamor, one is Zahor. That's why we have 2 candles. You can have more. If you have a lot of children, you can have as many candles, but you have to have at least 2. All right, let's look at the day number 2. Mr. Miller, what's your first name, Alan? What? Okay, thank you. Would you read the translation, day number 2?
Come with me to meet Shabbat, forever cloud and blessing. Still it flows, as far from the start, the last of days, for the first was made.
Okay, so here we're focusing again on the Shabbos, coming to meet the Shabbos, forever found in blessing. Still it flows as from the start, meaning as from creation. It was there at creation. The last of days for which the first was made. And here's a reference. It's the last of days, the last day of creation, right? It's the 7th day. But Shabbat is also a taste of the Messianic day, the very last days. So the idea is that God in creation intended Shabbat to conclude the week, but he also intended the Messianic time to be like Shabbat, a day of peace and rejoicing. Shabbat is a foretaste, it's a preview of what it's going to be in the day of age of peace. So the first 2 are wonderfully Shabbat oriented. Let's continue. Allison, right? Will you read the translation number 3, verse 3?
Royal shrine, city of kings, rise up and leave your ravaged state. You have dwelt long enough in the valley of tears. Now God will shower mercy on you.
Now we have a big shift in this whole thing. All of a sudden, Shabbat has been left behind. And what's the royal city? What's the city of kings? What city? Yeah, it's all of a sudden it's talking about Jerusalem. Does Jerusalem have messianic tones to it? Definitely. What do we say at the end of the Seder? Hashanah haba b'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. It doesn't mean we're all going to take a trip to Jerusalem. It means may the Messiah come, may it be a year of peace. And Jerusalem can be translated, Ir Shalom, as city of peace. That's the translation of Jerusalem. So all of a sudden, the Shabbat has been left to the side a little bit, and we're focusing on Jerusalem. Will, the next one, number 4, I think.
Lift yourself up, shake off the dust, array yourself in beauty, O my people. At hand is Bethlehem David, Jesse's son, bringing deliverance into my life.
Yeah, so Jerusalem is, why is Jerusalem talking, why they say lift yourself up, shake off the dust? Because it was, of course, defeated and destroyed by the Babylonians. The temple was in ruin, so it says it's time to get up from that defeat and array yourself in beauty, and it really uses the word, I think, clothing here, yeah. Big day, beged is clothing. So on Shabbat, what are you supposed to dress, put on nice clothes for Shabbat, just like for the Messianic time. And there's no hiding there, the Messianic, because they talk about David, Jesse's son, bringing us. So it's time for the unification of Jerusalem as well, Jerusalem and God. Let's go to verse 5. Jim.
Awake, awake, your light has come. Arise, shine, awake and sing. The eternal's glory dawns upon you.
Okay, so this is talking about light coming. What kind of light is the light created on the 2nd day when God says, Yehi or, let there be light? What kind of light is it? Moonlight? It's not moonlight, it's not sunlight, because those were created on the 4th day. So this is messianic light. This light is kind of stored away for the righteous. It's a special kind of divine light on this first day. Yehi or, that light is. So here they're talking about it. Your light has come. Now it's time for that light that was stored away by God to come and to bless us all. Okay, number 6, Andrew.
An end to shame and degradation. Forget your sorrow, quieten your groans. The afflicted of my people find respite in you. The city renewed upon its ancient ruins.
Yes, look at the last word of that. It's called Tila, referring to a tell. What's a tell? What is a tell? It's a hill, but what kind of hill? Yeah, more than that.
Ruins are beneath.
Yes, tell has layers underneath, layer of an ancient city. So they're talking about all the tells, and there are many tells in Israel of ancient destroyed cities that are built on top of each other, and then they've been closed over. They're no longer, so it's a term for an ancient layered city. So Jerusalem is going to be rebuilt, and it's going to be renewed upon an ancient tell. So they're still talking about Jerusalem. Number 7, Lisa.
The scavengers are scattered, your devourers have fled, as a bridegroom rejoices in his bride, and God takes joy in you.
Yeah, so here they bring the wedding image again, and who are they talking about? They're still talking about Jerusalem. That God is going to be married to Jerusalem and reunited with Jerusalem. And number 8, Tim, are you there? Okay. You can do 2 things at once. I didn't know that. Free. Great. Now here they've kind of ducked the translation. If you look at the 3rd line, it says Al Yad Ish Ben Partsi. And Partsi refers to Peretz. Who knows who Peretz was in the Bible? Okay, Peretz was the son of Judah and Tamar. Tamar was his daughter-in-law, and he tried to deny her a levirate marriage because she killed off 2 of his sons. Not really, but they died. And so he had a younger son and said, no, you're not going to get him. So he denied him. But she tricked him by dressing up as a lady of the evening and had intercourse with her father-in-law. And Peretz, as the child, came from that. But in many cases in Judaism, the Messiah, the Messianic line, comes from very low, degrading circumstances. It kind of is a kind of a lesson or a sermon about hope. So here it's saying that even from Peretz, who was the offspring of this unusual relationship, comes the Messianic hope. So Ben Partsi, from people will come from that. So all these talk about Jerusalem being reunited with God. And then we come to number 9, the last one. And Lynn, would you read that for us?
Enter in peace, O crown of your husband. Enter in gladness. Enter in joy. Come to the people that keeps its faith. Enter, O bride. Enter.
Beautiful, yeah. So here we go back to the Shabbos theme. The bride is coming, and the bride we and the bride are going to be united. In fact, I see there are 4 types of unification, of togetherness, of marriages that take place. There's, of course, the beginning with ourselves and Shabbat, and there's God and Israel, and God and the Sabbath, and God himself, and God in Jerusalem. Lots of Kabbalistic themes of taking the marriage image and saying that there's going to be tikkun, there's going to be repair, there's going to be unification. So next time we do the Lahadodi, you think of all these things, at least a little bit of them, about the marriage imagery, and Israel and the Sabbath, and God and Israel and the Sabbath, all these different kinds of wonderful combinations. Yes, Sandy?
I'm curious as to why we always say 1, 2, 5, and 9.
You got me. I don't know why.
I asked that question at one of the services where we were doing the song. Rabbi Karen answered, I wish I could remember. But when she's back from vacation, ask Rabbi Karen. She, I think, articulate.
We'll ask
It's
her.
meaning tradition, though. Tradition was a reason we
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right. Let's conclude our service. Maybe can we have, is there a board member here to make announcements? Are there any announcements? Okay. What? Okay, yes, there'll be a minyan tomorrow at 9 o'clock, the Sabbath morning minyan. And some of you may know that I went to the school, the Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati, and some people went to the Hebrew College in New York. In New York, if you're a rabbi, you could choose to learn the trope, to learn the singing. And Cincinnati didn't offer that, so I didn't get that. So over this winter, I learned a little bit from Cantor Triton on Zoom, and Will and I were there struggling along. But so I've done 2 so far. We're going to do another one a week from Saturday. We're going to do another. We do it in the chapel. So when it starts the book of Deuteronomy, it's difficult but fun. Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit to what the idea
Trope?
of the differences? I mean, does it, yes, the music makes a difference, or
Oh, yes. Well,
why are they different now?
I wish Cantor Triton was here to give you a big lecture. The trope, the notes, the signs indicate notes, and they tell you immediately where the accent is on each word, and they also tell you the phrasing, and sometimes they can help with the meaning. So sometimes people who translate the Torah look at the trope to see what the meaning is. Now, the people who put it in are called the Masoretes, and they were some traditionalists, and I think they were about 6th, 7th centuries or so. And they're responsible for the trope, so they took, why they did this, they were afraid, because as Jews began to span all over the world, people were losing the sense of a unified tradition, so they kept the trope in. There's also a trope used at the end of every sentence called Sof Pasu. Sof Pasu goes down. And so you can tell in the middle, there's a sign, a trope for the middle, the Etnapka, and at the end. So it's a lot of fun. Mayor, did you learn the trope a little bit when you were? No? Okay. All right. It takes a while. All right, let's rise for the Aleinu on page 282. Aleinu l'shabbat l'adon hakol l'teit gedula yotzer b'reshit shelo asanu koyei haratzot v'lo samanu mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam helkenu kahem v'gohor aleinu kehol hamonam. Turn now to page 293. Our thought turns to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost. The martyrs are our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. And in the 30-day Shaloshim period, we have Dr. Livermore McBee, friend of Mark Albion, and Jacqueline Grozovsky, mother of Andrew Grozovsky and mother-in-law of Linda Ross. We have the archsites of the following: Melvin I. Bernstein, my uncle, Irene Friedman, Jimmy Hirschberg, Michael Kaminsky, Murray Liddon, Norman Oppenheim, June Ringel, Samuel Ringel, Tim Spillane, and Nellie Weiner. Are there any other yahrzeit names people would like to contribute or say? Thank you. Okay. Now we sanctify the names of the deceased along with the name of God as we pray the Kaddish prayer, page 294. Yit Gadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, B'yamah Divrach Yutei, B'yamlik Malchutei, B'chaye Chon, Yomei Chon, B'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, B'agalav Uzman Karib, B'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarak, Le'olam Omeo Maya. Yit Barak, Yishtabak, Yit Bo'ar, Yit Roman, Yit Naseh. Yit Hadar, Yit Aleh, Yit Alal, Shemei Dekudusha, Richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tishbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yoma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shomaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all those who mourn, and let us say, Amen. All right, we can be seated. We're going to do the, Will, could you sing the Kiddush for us? That'd be great.
Do it up here.
Yeah. You can get in front of the mic here.
I think I remember the words, hopefully.
Okay.
If I forget them, you'll tell me.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsha v'avav ratzon in kilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereishit ki hu yom tehillah Lemikroe Kodesh, Zekel Tziyah Mitzrayim, Kivanu Vacharta, Viotanu Kidasha, Mikol Hamim, V'shabbat kodsheka b'ahava u'b'ratzon hinkaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. Chaim.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let us rise and sing Oseh Shalom, and then we'll do the Motzi over the challah. Oseh Shalom B'mromah, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, V'yakol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ya'kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ya'kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, V'al Yisrael. Let us join together in the Motzi. Motzi lechem b'haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. We're going to meet out in the foyer.